Bongino gives a warning to President-elect Donald Trump, as well as his transition and administrative team. I also have an eerie and strange update about the killing of the United Healthcare CEO on the streets of New York City, as well as other big stories trending in the news today. Thank you so much for joining me on today's morning news broadcast. President Donald Trump has just announced economist Peter Navarro will be his senior counselor for trade and manufacturing. Earlier today, President-elect Donald Trump stated, "I am pleased to announce that Peter Navarro, a man who was treated horribly by the deep state, or whatever else you would like to call it, will serve as my senior counselor for trade and manufacturing." The senior counselor position leverages Peter's broad range of White House experience while harnessing his extensive policy analytics and media skills. His mission will be to help successfully advance and communicate the Trump manufacturing, tariff, and trade agenda. Now, I've had Peter Navarro on my show multiple times. He's a great guy. He's brilliant. If you enjoyed lower taxes under the first Trump administration, you can thank Peter Navarro. If you enjoyed low gas prices under the previous Trump administration, you can thank Peter Navarro. If you liked affordable housing and living, a lot of that had to do with Peter Navarro. He is a brilliant economist, Harvard trained, and he helped Donald Trump all along the way. He is one of Trump's most loyal people. He even went to jail for Donald Trump in order to not break executive privilege during the sham January 6th show trial. Steve Bannon will also be an advisor to President Trump. Now, when Trump says he was treated horribly by the deep state, he is referring to how Peter Navarro was sent to federal prison for defying a subpoena from the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th riot. Specifically, Nancy Pelosi sent Peter Navarro to jail to get back at Donald Trump. In fact, he was the first White House official ever imprisoned for contempt of Congress charges. However, that hasn't deterred him from pursuing what he believes is right. Now, I hate that Peter Navarro had to go to jail for America, for you and me, and for Donald Trump. But he is a true American patriot, and he stuck it to Nancy Pelosi. And I just hope that somehow he gets revenge on her. Maybe they'll open an investigation into Nancy Pelosi using insider trading to become worth over $200 million. Sometimes karma is a bee, and I hope in this case it is. Now, shortly after being released, Peter Navarro spoke at the RNC and stated, "In Trump's America, you don't have to worry about being locked up for disagreeing with the government. I went to prison, so you won't have to. I am your wake-up call." Now, unfortunately, Navarro wasn't as lucky as Hunter Biden. In regards to Hunter's recent pardon, Peter Navarro stated, "Any reporter who covers the Hunter pardon commits malfeasance by not contrasting Biden's pardon with the imprisonment of me and Steve Bannon. The comparison is stark." Even California Governor Gavin Newsom expressed disappointment with Biden's decision. He recently stated, "I took the president at his word, so by definition, I'm disappointed and can't support the decision." Now, what Governor Newsom means is President Biden promised over and over and over again that he would be a law-abiding president and that he would not use nepotism or his authority to forgive and pardon Hunter Biden, but he has. Now, yesterday, I did an exclusive interview with super lawyer Alan Dershowitz. If you want to go back and watch that 23-minute interview, he answers all of our questions about Biden, Trump, and the Hunter Biden pardon. Now, with what we know about the Biden family, I think it's safe to say that Joe Biden should have never ran for president. Former Meet the President host Chuck Todd claimed Biden was selfish for running because he had family issues at the time. Chuck stated, You want to get angry? You read the Hallie Biden transcript. That's Bo's widow. Essentially, Hunter turned her into a crack addict. That was all happening in 2017 and 2018. And Joe and Jill Biden were so concerned about their family that they decided to run for president. When you talk about the word selfish, their decision to run for president put the entire Democrat Party and now the United States of America in the position it's in now. Wow. Now, you know that Chuck Todd is a super anti-Donald Trump show host. And yet here he is saying that most of the problems you and I are dealing with today are because Biden became president instead of dealing with his crack addict son and the now crack addict daughter-in-law that he began sleeping with after the son Bo died. But Biden couldn't even parent his own son. What gave him the right to lead America? It didn't. And that's what Chuck Todd is saying, not Stephen Gardner. This is NBC host Chuck Todd. Now, so far, Trump has picked people who have a history of being loyal to Donald Trump. However, Trump is now reportedly considering swapping out his defense secretary pick. According to reports, Trump may release Pete Hegseth and instead nominate Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who is a formal naval lawyer. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, because according to Pete Hegseth, he spoke with Donald Trump yesterday, and Trump told him to be strong, to stand his ground, and that he backs him. But now, according to CBS White House correspondent Ed O'Keefe, two sources familiar with the transition tell me that President-elect Trump is considering naming Florida Ron DeSantis as his pick for defense secretary. He would replace embattled Fox News host Pete Hegseth. Hegseth has faced allegations of past sexual and workplace misconduct, which have come to light in recent news reports. Now, let me know two things. Number one, do you think that Trump really wants to replace Pete Hegseth? And number two, if he did, man, isn't Ron DeSantis a great plan B? I mean, I don't know what the truth is, because the mainstream media lies to us almost on a daily basis. But I do believe that there could be two truths here. There could be that Donald Trump is going to fight for Pete Hegseth, but being wise, if he drops out, he wants to have plan B on deck, ready to go. So we'll see. We'll see what actually happens. Now, this situation seems eerily similar to the one with Matt Gaetz. The only reason is that Trump's possible replacement, Ron DeSantis, has a history with Donald Trump. These two literally went head to head, and there were bad feelings between them, but they have buried the hatchet and moved forward. Despite the allegations against Pete Hegseth, he continues to work actively in engaging in political discussion. In a recent post on X, he stated, "Had a productive meeting with Senator Ted Budd, discussing priorities like the DoD recruitment crisis, acquisition reform, and the defense of our homeland. Thankful for the senator's advice in this process." Also, Pete Hegseth recently was interviewed by Megyn Kelly to deny allegations against him. Hegseth stated, "I've never had a drinking problem. What do guys do when they come back from war? Sometimes they have a beer. Thank God, by the grace of God, I found my chapter of purpose that pulled me out. I found my two J's, my wife Jennifer, and the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ." Now, I think that Pete Hegseth is going to get confirmed. From what I'm reading from Charlie Kirk and a few other people, I believe that all the senators are going to vote for him. Although there is a couple that I'm a little worried about, and I'm going to tell you more about that. Now, several well-known figures, including Dan Bongino, Piers Morgan, and others, have come to Pete Hegseth's defense in light of these allegations against him. Bongino, who has worked with Hegseth for many, many years, firmly dismissed the claims, stating, "Worked with Pete for years. This is absolute BS. Stand with Pete. The country needs him." Piers Morgan also voiced his support by stating, "This relentless onslaught against Pete Hegseth is getting pathetic." Fox News and Friends, oh boy, sorry about this. Fox News and Friends, I've been on camera with him. He is a nice and respectful guy. Sorry, it got a little bit garbled here. All right, now let me know what you think. Do you think that Pete Hegseth will be a good defense secretary? I believe that he will do a good job. I don't know that he is fully qualified, but you know what? I think it's time to shake things up in Washington, D.C. I think it's time for some loyal people with new ideas. The reality is we have a recruiting problem with the U.S. military. We are severely depleted when it comes to ammunitions, wars, preparation. That needs to be handled. The wokeism inside of the military needs to be gone immediately. Transgender surgeries paid for by taxpayers like you and me, that needs to be gone. People need mental health support. Our veterans need support. So we need somebody who understands what it's like to be in the military and also how to avoid war while being prepared. So peace through strength is what we need. Now, Dan Bongino also signaled on Twitter this message. A message to Doge, Vivek, and Elon. Be weary of Joni Ernst. She cannot be trusted. Dan Bongino reveals that Lindsey Graham and Joni Ernst are the two senators that are spearheading the slanderous attacks on Pete Hegseth. If she's willing to take down Pete, she's willing to sabotage the mission of Doge. So according to Dan Bongino, he's trying to let people know that through all of his back channel communications, he has learned that Senators Lindsey Graham and Senator Joni Ernst are the ones in the Republican Party that are trying to disrupt Trump and his appointment of Pete Hegseth. Now, let me know what you think of Senator Lindsey Graham and Senator Joni Ernst. In the past, they have been considered heroes of the Republican Party. However, now, personally, I just see Senator Lindsey Graham as a weak war hawk neocon willing to sacrifice my kids to the military-industrial complex. But please let me know over in the comments, what do you think of Lindsey Graham? What do you think of Joni Ernst? I'm just so worried that these guys are behind the scenes trying to basically derail Donald Trump and his MAGA agenda. Lindsey Graham is a snake. He pretends to be on Trump's side, and then over and over and over again, he throws Trump under the bus. All right, now, let me see where I was at here. Oh, what do you guys think of the open murder of Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare? I'm reading good about this guy. I'm reading bad about this. But the fact that this guy was assassinated in broad daylight on the streets of New York is very disturbing. Now, in a video obtained by Fox News, you can see Brian Thompson walking down the sidewalk when out of nowhere, a guy in a mask wearing a black hoodie comes up behind him, pulls out a gun with a silencer, and shoots him in the back. He then turns around to face his killer, and he's shot again. In the video, you can see he's wearing gloves to hide his fingerprints, a mask to hide his hair and his face, and a hoodie. There is now a manhunt happening in the city of New York. So they've got a murderer, a killer on the loose, and the manhunt is just beginning. Hopefully they catch this guy and we can get some answers and justice can be served. Now, New York Governor Kathy Hochul later released a statement saying, "Earlier today, I was briefed by the superintendent of the New York State Police on the horrific and targeted shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Manhattan. I directed the state police to provide the NYPD with any necessary assistance with the investigation to ensure the safety of all New Yorkers. Our hearts are with the family and loved one of Mr. Thompson, and we are committed to ensuring the perpetrator is brought to justice. I saw pictures of this guy's wife and his kids. It's very, very sad. Now, clearly, this was a planned attack. Clearly, this was an assassination. Now, new details are out this morning. The shooter of the United Healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson, wrote on the bullet casing, "Deny, defend, depose." Now, I'm not sure what that means, but there is a book out with very similar language about how insurance industry CEOs are instructing their actuary, or not their actuaries, they're instructing their employees to deny claims. There's also talk about using artificial intelligence to read through claims and auto-deny them. And this book talks about how many Americans are being shafted with healthcare claims. Now, I want to know from you guys, do you think that the person that shot the CEO of United Healthcare, do you think that was a paid hitman? Do you think that was a disgruntled father? Do you think that was someone who was denied a claim, has nothing to lose, and decided to do Batman-like vigilantism on this person getting justice? What do you think? Hitman, paid hitman. Interesting. MK Ultra victim. Yeah, I don't know what the truth is here. Hopefully the truth will come out. But as of right now, it does kind of look like a hitman. I mean, I want to say it could be a disgruntled person who had a claim denied, or it could be a disgruntled father. But based on the fact that this person had a silencer, was actually a good shot with a handgun, and then knew to run away. I don't know. It's looking more and more like this is a hitman, somebody that knew exactly what they were doing. All right, now I have a couple other big stories, but first a word from our sponsor. Did you know that American homeowners nationwide have over $32 trillion in home equity? Cyber criminals are now targeting it with a growing scam the FBI calls house stealing. Traditional security measures like house alarms, doorbell cameras, and deadbolts won't protect you because these thieves aren't going after your belongings. They're going after your home equity. If your title isn't being monitored, scammers can transfer the title of your home into their name using a simple one-page document filed at the county. Once they've done this, they can take out loans against your home, and then basically they run away. So then 90 days later, you go into collections and foreclosure, and now you've got a financial and legal nightmare on your hands. The best way to protect your equity is with triple lock protection from Home Title Lock. This triple lock protection includes 24/7 monitoring, alerts of any changes on your home title, and restoration services at no out-of-pocket cost to you. When was the last time you checked your home's title? Before working with Home Title Lock, my answer was never. I didn't even know that this existed. Now you can check your home title to make sure that you are not already a victim. Get a free title history report and a 30-day free trial of Title Lock protection by visiting HometitleLock.com and use promo code Gardner. Again, go to HometitleLock.com and use promo code Gardner. Make sure that you protect your most valuable asset today, which is likely the equity in your home. Now, just 1 year after interviewing Russian President Vladimir Putin, Tucker Carlson is back in Russia. However, this time he will be interviewing Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. In a new video posted on X, Tucker Carlson explained that he wanted to do the interview so the American people could realize just how close we are to nuclear war. Unfortunately, the United States, including U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, have cut off all communication with Russia, and Tucker Carlson is doing his best to broker peace between the United States, Ukraine, and Russia. Now, let me know what you think about this. I think that this is dangerous, but I also believe that this is a good move. I believe Tucker Carlson is trying to protect you and me and our children and our country from ending up in a war because dementia Joe Biden doesn't know what the hell he's doing, and he's trying to cover up his family's sins in the country of Ukraine. Now, ever since Trump was elected, President Biden has been diving headfirst into escalation by allowing Ukraine to attack deep into Russia with American weapons. This could completely spin out of control, and we find ourselves in an escalated war, or worse, a nuclear war. Now, I'll cover the Tucker Carlson interview once it comes out. While the U.S. government might not like that Tucker Carlson is speaking with foreign officials, he wouldn't have to do that if they would just do their own job. It sucks to say that, but I think they want America to be in the dark about just how close we are to World War III. Carlson seems to prove this by claiming the U.S. government tried to block him from reaching Russia and Ukraine. For instance, in a recent video, he stated that the president of Ukraine was forced to not do an interview because America would not allow it. Now, this is direct interference with freedom of speech and freedom of the press, but what do you expect from the Biden administration? They've literally committed mistakes all over the world, and they're doing everything in their power to cover their tracks. Now, making horrible decisions is one thing, but trying to cover up the consequences of those decisions is unforgivable. But it doesn't surprise me one bit, as this isn't the first time they've tried to censor free speech. Tucker Carlson is expected to speak with Russia's foreign minister any day now, and make sure that you hit that subscribe button so that I can tell you about it when it comes out. Now, according to AP News, Joe Biden's administration is pressuring Ukraine to increase the size of their military by drafting 18-year-olds out of colleges and high schools in Ukraine and forcing them into military conscription. A senior Biden official stated, "The pure math of Ukraine's situation now is that they need more troops to fight Russia. Currently, Ukraine is not mobilizing or training enough soldiers to replace its battlefield losses while keeping pace with Russia's growing military. The Russian military is now the biggest, strongest, most equipped military in the world." In response to the sudden pressure to add more military troops, Steve Cortez commented, "The Biden White House is pressuring Ukraine to draft the remaining 18-year-olds into combat to continue the endless war against Russia using American taxpayer funds to the tunes of hundreds of billions of dollars. They are escalating World War III." Now, I think that this is a giant mistake. I think that instead, we need to end this war, and those 18-year-olds need to start impregnating a bunch of Ukrainian people, or else the Ukrainian civilization is going to collapse. So these guys should not be going to war. They should literally be creating families as quickly as they can. Ukraine is going to collapse. It wouldn't shock me if it's already too late. But what do you think? Are they just trying to wipe out the Ukrainian civilization and then they'll blame it on Russia? Are they trying to start another European war so that we can make money off of Europe? Are they trying to get us into World War III before Donald J. Trump takes office? Now, I've seen many of you over in the comments this morning saying, impeach, impeach, impeach. They're not going to impeach him. Not because it's the wrong thing to do. It's 100% the right thing to do. It's because they don't want to spend money on impeaching Joe Biden. But they spend money on stupid crap all of the time. I just cannot wait for Donald Trump to get in office. So everybody continue to pray that he will make it. All right, let me read some of these. Tucker is in Moscow as a peace envoy. I agree. Gen Xer, we love what you do, Stephen. We have been watching you since the stimulus days. You are the journalist that America needs. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for that. Let me see if I recognize your face. Maybe. All right. Julie Keys, thank you so much. Same as Gen Xer. Thank you for what you do. Thank you guys. You guys are buying my tacos today. I really appreciate that. Did you hear that Biden might pardon Dr. Fauci? Oh my gosh. You should have seen the rant I went on last night. I was in such a bad mood at dinner. I was texting all of my family and friends saying, this is worse than the Hunter Biden pardon. Like, I don't give a crap about Hunter Biden, but Dr. Fauci needs to be held accountable. And they know that he has perpetrated so many crimes against America and the world, the HIV people, the horrible animal abuse that he's linked to, masking our children, forcing a poisonous vaccine on people, lying to the government that there were no alternative medicines and that going through Pfizer and Moderna was the only way out of the pandemic. All lies, 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 lies. Absolutely crazy. Yes, I saw that, and it makes me mad, as you can tell. Thanks for the super chat. Random Eskimo, this is not for tacos, it's for tamales. Greetings from, is that Duchesne? Duchesne? Anyway, thank you very much. Sure, I will go eat a tamale. I would absolutely do that. Thank you so much. I like burritos too. Basically, anytime I go out to dinner with people, I say, which Mexican restaurant are we going to tonight? All right. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I really appreciate that. All right. I've got to get ready for a couple of big interviews. I love you guys. Please hit that subscribe button. And right now, hit that like button before you leave. I would really appreciate it because it helps so much. And I will see you guys on the next video. Stay amazing.